Hey there guys, how are you? Welcome to a brand new Q&A Ask Anything, where I answer everything and anything that you guys ask. Pretty much, I just explained what a Q&A was. I don't think I needed to do that. You guys are aware. I'm sorry, but how are you? But yeah, tons of great questions in this Q&A. Some weird ones, some creepy ones, some life advice, some movie questions, a little bit of everything. And you guys asked some really good questions last time, so I can't wait to get into these. And the first question is, John, which movie do you think will win Best Picture at the Oscars? There's so many to pick from. You got Spotlight, which I have not watched yet, and I do want to watch that. You got Mad Max Fury Road, my personal favorite, The Revenant, The Martian, Bridge of Spies. And before I answer that question and dive into depth, I first wanted to mention I have some free stuff for you guys that relates to the Oscars. Yeah, free stuff. It's amazing. So in regards to the Oscars, which goes down February 28th, you guys can actually watch a lot of these Oscar nominee movies on demand. Yeah, if you guys have on demand, you click the button. There's no downloading these movies, just stream in HD right in front of your eyeballs. They have a lot of the newest titles to pick from, including a lot of the Oscar nominated movies. There's actually a few I want to watch on there. So here's what I'm going to do. I have 10 free cable cash codes. They're $5 value each one. And so if you guys have movies on demand, here's what I want you to do. Down below in the comments section, leave me a witty, funny little comment saying, hey John, this is which movie I want to watch on demand, and leave me your email address along with that comment. And then a few days from now, when I'm sitting in the Batman bathroom, reading my comments on my phone, taking care of business, I will randomly go through and pick 10 of you, and I'll send you guys the codes. So keep in mind, this is a free $5. You guys can go on demand, click that button, and instantly watch any movie you want to for free. But as far as movies on demand go, you don't only have to watch Oscar-nominated movies. They have a whole bunch of other new releases and old movies on there that you guys can pick from. And also, speaking of the Oscars, down below I'm going to put a link to this. It's actually an Oscars pool. What am I talking about? Well, it's like March Madness for movies. So anybody who wants to do that, all you have to do is click the link down below, go there, show your movie knowledge, pick who you think is going to win each Oscar in each category. You can also have other friends join and make your own Oscar pools, and you can pick winners and stuff like that. So it's a good time. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see how smart I am. I think I'm probably going to get like 4 of them right, maybe 1. I'll just go with 1. Yeah. Always start low, that way it looks more impressive when you actually get more things right in life. Okay, so let me finally answer your question. So which movie would I pick for Best Picture at the Oscars? Personally, I'd pick Mad Max Fury Road. Do I think that's going to win? No, because I know how the Oscars work and how they think generally, but I would probably say it's between Spotlight and The Revenant. And keep in mind, I haven't watched Spotlight yet, but from everything I've heard about it and the trailers I've seen, it just looks like the type of movie that would win at the Oscars. Okay, so the next question is, weird question, John. What was the first movie scene that you had an erection at a young age? That's why I do these Q&As. That's why I do these. After a lot of deep thinking, I do remember. I think I do remember. Let's go back to 1994, I believe. I was in the theater, and it was the movie True Lies, and the scene was Jamie Lee Curtis, where she strips down and dances in front of Arnold, and it's just from a young age, something about like 90s underwear that women used to wear, just like, it's always stuck with me. So yeah, we're going to go with the True Lies Jamie Lee Curtis strip scene. If you haven't watched it, well, please do. I think it's on YouTube. All right, next one is, John, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Well, currently I'm sitting in a room painted blue with a blue Batman hat on, so I never thought I would see myself here, especially like going back to high school, but I hope I can do the same shit I'm doing right now in 10 years. That would be okay, but I think the mature answer here is, in 10 years I will be in my 30s, actually my mid to late 30s, so, I'm probably, the family thing will probably be going on by then, I would imagine. Little flicksters running around, maybe 1. 2 just sounds like too much effort and work, and I don't have time for that. What else is there? Maybe buy some real estate. It seems like a smart investment. But really, I would just like to kind of generally be doing what I'm doing now. I like to be creative. It's a nice outlet for me. Hopefully, YouTube only expands and gets better by that point. And I would like to be doing something very similar to what I'm doing now. That's what's fun to me in life. Just being creative and doing something different every day, the way I want to do it. So, yeah, we'll go with that. All right, and my phone, I keep shutting off. All right, the next one is, who is your favorite YouTuber, not including movie reviewers, and can you show me your dog? My dog is downstairs. I'm too lazy to take the camera off the tripod to show you. But some of my favorite YouTubers, I watch a lot of weird stuff on YouTube. I like people that get very personable. So I like people that don't always sit in front of the same thing every video. I like people that show their personal lives. It's just more intriguing to me. You feel like you know them more. And I think watching YouTubers like that's what inspired me to kind of do the things I do. I don't always like to kind of just be this guy in front of a set talking to you. I like to show you weird shit that actually goes on in my life, or take the camera along with me in the car. So, right now I watch a lot of fitness YouTubers, and because you said not movie reviewers, so it's pretty much movies and fitness channels that I watch. And one guy I watch is Rich Piana. He's like, oh man, yeah, I like him. I think he's a really cool, honest guy. He talks about fitness. You don't always want to take all of his advice because he's very extreme. But if you just take a little smidgen of it, it'll probably work out for you. Because unless you guys want to inject like 10 cc's of steroids a week, well, you probably don't want to take his exact advice. But some of his ideas and his dieting and things like that, you take little things like that and you run with it. And he shows his personal life. Like, he shows him waking up, it shows him making breakfast, shows him in the car. And those are just things I like. I think that's what YouTube is all about. Like, it's about viewerism. It's about like feeling like these people, or you're standing right beside them. That's what I like. I don't like overly produced YouTube channels. And I think a lot of you guys might know what I'm talking about. Those YouTube channels that feel like they're trying to be a TV show. It's like, if I want to watch a fucking TV show, I'll just watch TV. I like when they don't try to overproduce everything. So yeah, I watch a lot of fitness channels, stuff like that. I'm going a little bit blank right now. But generally that's what I watch. And also, speaking of YouTube channels, there's also a lot of people on YouTube, and I'm not going to name anyone, but there's people that I watch that I'm like, I'm not even interested in exactly what they're saying. Like the topic of whatever their channel is, I'm not even interested in it. I just watch them because I'm entertained by them, or I like listening to them. And I don't always agree with anything that generally I probably don't agree with 90% of what they're saying, but they just entertain me. So I watch them. One of them is actually a gaming channel. Yeah. John, who would you rather hang out with, Jar Jar Binks or Melissa McCarthy for an entire day? Probably Jar Jar Binks. Melissa McCarthy, I don't get it. I just don't get it. She just comes like she's trying to force this crude, raunchy humor, and it just never works for me. It's like, you're not the female version of Chris Farley. You never will be. Just stop. So yeah, we'll go with Jar Jar on that one. Oh, by the way, I was actually gonna yeah, one of the guys I watch is, I'm sorry, let's go back to the last question. I just remembered. I remember I went on a angry video game nerd frenzy like a while back. I watched like every single one of his videos. And it's like, yeah, it was just entertaining to me. It just relaxed me. All right, so let's continue on. What movie did you like better, Daredevil 2003 or Fantastic Four 2015? I'm going to say Daredevil 2003. Ben Affleck is a watchable actor. I think that movie got little smidgens of things right, but a lot of things it got very wrong. Plus, you had Elektra looking good in those leather pants. And there's little aspects about the movie. It's corny, it's campy at times, but at least it's watchable. Like, it's not good, but it's watchable. Daredevil Fantastic Four 2015 was just not right. It wasn't even that entertaining. And the thought of going back to rewatch it, I just don't think I could do it. Like, I would get bored. So why would I couldn't do that to myself. You guys hear that? They're picking up the trash outside. Yeah, it's 4:53 in the morning. All right. Hey, John, love your channels. Thanks, man. Can you give me some advice on achieving goals? What is your mental and practical process for that? Thanks. Keep on rocking. Thanks, man. Achieving goals. Going to the top of the mountain and claiming victory. I don't know what the fuck that was. So achieving goals. Well, the thing is in life, what do you want to do in life? And what you do is you set little tiny short goals for yourself. So in 2 months, I should have this done. In 2 months after that, I should have that done. In 2 months after that, I should have that done. And each one of those little things you set up should go to that total goal that you want. So, don't overwhelm yourself, because sometimes when you overthink things in life and you plan things out too much, it becomes overwhelming. And when you get overwhelmed, well, you probably do what I do, and that's sleep for 12 hours a day in the fetal position. And that's typically what I do. Also, try not to procrastinate. Now, I have the bad habit of, it sounds like fucking Transformers outside. Like, I feel like Optimus Prime's gonna knock on my window. I want the trash truck to go away. But anyway, back to procrastinating. I have a bad habit of this. Like, I go to make a YouTube video, and I'm gonna shoot my YouTube video at midnight. And then what I do is I sit there on the computer for 3 hours. I don't know what the hell happens. And then 4 o'clock comes around and I'm like, what? How did this happen? That's why I typically look tired in 90% of my videos, because I'm shooting them when I'm about to die. So yeah, don't try to procrastinate. Just set a goal. Just give yourself goals, reach those goals, and make them achievable. Things that you can get done. And just set a whole bunch of those, and eventually you'll probably get where you need to be. That is, I don't know. It just really depends what your goal is, and that would kind of, I guess advice would probably vary on that. I'm looking for the questions here. Where did they go? Hey, John, what movie do you prefer to see? Batman v Superman or Captain America Civil War? I don't know if anybody has asked this yet. Well, probably about 250 people have asked that, but you know what? I'm going to answer it because I'm going to talk about it. I would rather see Batman v Superman. For you guys, hi, look what's happening right there. Obviously. Now, do I think Captain America Civil War will be a really good movie? Yeah, it's going to be an awesome movie, probably. I hope it is. But the excitement level just isn't quite there, because we've seen these teams of people come together. We've seen the Avengers 1 and 2. It's like, yeah, we've kind of gotten a taste of that. But Batman v Superman, this is like the first of the first. So it's just, I'm anticipating it a little bit more and a little bit more excited for it. By the way, you guys, maybe it's just me, but no one's really, like, people are, but typically, like, just talking about Captain America Civil War, doesn't it feel like the hype train's kind of like right about there for that movie? It's just, but then you got Batman v Superman and everyone's talking about it. So, I don't know. All right. Do you ever watch much TV? It doesn't have to be while the episodes are airing. I just mean in general. The only TV I watch really is anything that I come across on YouTube. Like if it's like a TV show that someone uploaded to YouTube. I like to watch a lot of Shark Tank. And lately I've been watching a lot of like home, like renovation shows. That's the weird shit I watch. I know, you're probably thinking, why don't you watch Daredevil or something like that? I'm watching people buy houses and fix them up. Like, ooh, that's a nice granite countertop. I don't know. I just like to watch something that I can learn something from just slightly. What else? Oh, and I have Netflix, so whatever's on Netflix and whatever's on YouTube, that's pretty much how I watch TV. I don't even have like, I'm too lazy to install the antenna for my TV to even get free, basic TV channels. Like, I'm just too lazy to do it. So, and plus the thing about TV, or especially like TV, like normal TV where it has commercials, like I can't, like, who wants to watch 15 minutes of commercials in a 30-minute show? I don't want to do that. Come on. Hey, John. Oh, we already talked about achieving goals. Why do you keep moving houses? Don't you think it's a waste of money because where you live now looks pretty good? Well, people typically move for a reason. Yeah, it's okay. I guess it's sufficient, but what happens is it's like every time I get a new girlfriend, I move to a different house. It's just my thing for the last 3 years. But this house right here, I'll just tell you the story. It's in mine and someone else's name that I'm not quite with anymore. So what I'm going to do is leave and get my own house. That's why. And plus, this new house I'm getting is bigger than this house. It's nicer than this house. And I'm looking forward to it. So that's why I'm moving houses once again. All right. Hey, John, if you were to make a documentary, what would it be about? Make a documentary. I think a good YouTube documentary would be interesting. I know there's one that exists, but I don't feel like it did what it should. I want something more in depth, a little bit more edgy. So I think a really good YouTube documentary would be good. Like get into the nitty gritty of it. Have like maybe follow 5 different types of content creators, and really show their personal lives, show the business aspect of things, and even show like the internal way of the way Google and YouTube works. That would be really intriguing to find that part out. I don't know if Google would allow it. I don't think they like actually let camera crews inside and show, the inner workings, but that would be interesting to me. So yeah, a really good YouTube documentary. I'd like to watch that. What do you do for a living? What are your likes and dislikes about said job? You're watching what I do. I know it's crazy, right? I just blew your mind. I've had many different jobs over my life. I delivered pizzas. I worked at a cell phone company. I worked at a marketing company. I worked in a restaurant. What else did I do? Oh, I worked at Jiffy Lube. I changed people's oil. That was in high school. And me and my friends made some very bad mistakes. I remember one time at Jiffy Lube, my friend he emptied out the transmission fluid because he didn't know what he was doing. They never trained him. It was like his first day there. So he emptied out all the transmission fluid, overfilled the oil. So it had like 8 quarts of oil, and then the car drove off, and like it came back 2 minutes later smoking. So yeah, that's why I don't go to Jiffy Lube anymore. But yeah, I do YouTube. There's a lot of things I like and dislike about YouTube. Obviously, just talking and doing what I want in videos is awesome. Getting feedback from you guys is awesome. But there's always something that goes wrong. Like any video I've ever put up, something went wrong. It may be a YouTube glitch or something, but it's always a battle. You never know from day to day what's going to happen. And you got to rely on YouTube to be working properly. And so there's a lot of little things I dislike about it. Just because you put a video out doesn't mean that video is going to be there forever. It doesn't mean that it can't be taken down for some stupid reason that's beyond your control that isn't fair to you. And it is very time consuming. You'd be very surprised. People see a 5-minute movie review and they're thinking, oh, that probably took 10 minutes to make. No, it took 10 minutes just to set up the lights for that video. And then it took 35 minutes to 45 minutes to shoot the video. And then it took 15 minutes to transfer the video onto the computer. Then it took 6 hours to edit the video. Then it took, 40 minutes to upload the video. It took 20 minutes to make the thumbnail for the video. And then to tag the video. And then to share the video. And then, and then you just hope that Google doesn't come along and take your video down for some random reason. So, there's little things you like and dislike about YouTube, but overall, I guess I really can't complain, because for me, it's like it's an opportunity that I guess you just can't really complain, because without YouTube, I couldn't really be doing what I'm doing. So it's a take and give relationship, and some days you gotta take it with a smile on your face. But isn't that life? All right. Hitting the hard-hitting questions today on here. How many love interests have you had in your life? What do you consider a love interest? Like you're talking about like a one-night Tinder date, or but love interest, maybe like, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4 people I really, really, really cared about. So yeah, I would say that's the total, but we'll just leave it there. You seem to almost intentionally not go into your political beliefs. See, I told you, we're hitting the hard-hitting questions today. All right. You almost intentionally do not go into your political beliefs on your channel, or your religious beliefs. I was hoping you might delve into some political affiliations and beliefs, please. Thank you, John. It's Lewis from Blooming Johnson. All right, man. So let's answer this. As far as political opinions go, does anything ever really change? No matter who you vote for, does anything ever really change? And anything some good guy does or somebody that does an office that's for the positive and the betterment of everyone, well, the next guy who comes in undoes it all. It just goes up and down, and you end up right in the middle every single time. Yeah, so there's that. But if I had to vote for somebody currently right now that's running for president, I think somebody like Bernie Sanders. People that seem like they have common sense, that are down to earth, that just know how to speak, and you're like, yeah, I can agree with this guy. He doesn't seem like he wants to destroy us. So I think Bernie Sanders is a good candidate. But someone like Donald Trump scares the shit out of me. I mean, the guy gets into Twitter fights with celebrities. Do you want that to be your fucking president? Like, think about that. I just feel like he has the mentality of a 15-year-old boy who's angry and insecure. And I was that boy once, so I wouldn't vote for me. As far as religious outlooks go, I'm not really a religious guy. I just say do what you want, do what makes you happy, do what motivates you to be a good person in life. That's it, man. Whatever that is, that's cool. I don't care. Do it. All right. What is the exact recipe for your protein smoothies? And are you going to see 10 Cloverfield Lane next month? Actually, the video I just put up the other day, it's actually, I show how I make protein smoothies every step along the way. So watch that video. As far as seeing that movie, absolutely I'm going to go see 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Which actor would star in a movie of your life? Whew. It's very tough. It's tough because I would almost say at one point, maybe you could have like Leonardo DiCaprio because he can look very young, but he can also look old. But I feel like maybe that would have been Leo like 5 or 10 years ago. And then you have like Tom Hardy. I feel like he could do it, especially like Tom Hardy has the ability to get really skinny and then he knows how to bulk up. So maybe he could play skinny me and then bulk up. I don't know. We'll go with one of those two actors. All right. So here's my question. Since Chris Stuckman is publishing his first book, and is that something that you could see yourself doing at some point? Yeah, by the way, that was really cool. I remember talking to him about that, and he was sharing his process of writing that every night, busting his ass doing that for a couple months. And as far as publishing a book, could I write something? I think I could. The thing about me is my grammar is terrible, not because I'm a moron, but because I don't proofread anything I type. The way I type is the way I think and the way I talk. So when I type things, they might come across like run-on sentences, but to me, it's like that's how I would want to read that. I like reading things with personality behind them. I like reading things how people talk. Proper grammar to me is kind of boring. Like, I know that sounds weird, but what else is there? So would I want to write an entire book? That's not really my thing. What would I want to do? I don't know. My thing is I just want to do what I want to do. So making videos, that's fun enough for me. Now, would I like to maybe, explore other things, opportunities? Possibly. But the other thing is, like, what else is there? Like, yeah, you can move to LA. I could host some random shitty TV show or something along those lines. But here's the problem with that. It's going to be overly produced, overly scripted. It's going to take all my personality out of it. I'm going to sit there reading off fucking cue cards or a teleprompter. I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that when I can do what I'm doing right now? And that's whatever I want to do. So as far as like other things and other goals, my goal is just to be the best version of me. So, all right. And also, I just want to keep going to the gym until I explode. Like, literally explode. All right. Who is your favorite director? That is a very tough question because I honestly cannot just pick one. It just depends on the type, the tone of the movie. You got Spielberg. I feel like, I was going to say Nolan, but, you know, I don't feel like Nolan is one of my favorite directors. I really don't. Not to say he's bad, but he's just not one of my favorites. Then you have like Scorsese. Then you have one director a lot of people never really talk about, and that's Robert Zemeckis, who can essentially kind of do what Spielberg does, But, you know, look at Zemeckis movies. You have all the Back to the Future movies. You have movies like Castaway, and I think Zemeckis is a really underrated director. So I don't think I've really watched more than a few Zemeckis movies I never liked. So I can't pick a favorite director. It just depends on the style and tone of the movie and what the movie is. Oh, and James Cameron. Like, if I had an action movie and it was like a big movie and it had like a really expensive type of a budget and it had the scope of it was enormous, if I had to pick one director to direct that, James Cameron. I would pick James Cameron to direct that film. Because his movies are just look at any of his movies. They just look great. All right. What was the biggest obstacle when you first started working out? Myself, I'm 48, started the gym 5 days a week, and within 6 months, I stuffed my rotator cuff just when I was seeing results. Ain't that a bitch? So back to square one. Yeah, that sucks, man. Injuries will slow you down and set you back. But the thing is, keep in mind, you have a lot of other muscle groups. You don't need a rotator cuff to do an ab crunch. You don't need a rotator cuff to keep your diet on point. You don't need a rotator cuff to do leg exercises. So there's a lot of other things you can do to somewhat keep up. But yeah, as far as working out, the biggest obstacle when I first started working out, I'll just, for the sake of just giving you more insight to my life than you probably even want, the reason I started working out was back in, I believe it was 2000 and it was September 2010. Yeah. Me and my girlfriend, we broke up. I was just super bored at the time. And like, I think a month went by and I was like, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and looking at older pictures of me in high school when I was like slightly athletic and actually moving around. And I was like, I just felt and looked like shit. I was just like scrawny and small and I didn't like it. So I got a gym membership and then I started going probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week. And I remember the first night I went to the gym, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I just went up and down the row of all the machines and just put the heaviest weight I possibly could and did it. And I remember being sore for like a week or 2 weeks, like almost sore to the point you wanted to cry because everything in my body was so inflamed. But you know what? I liked it. And I was like, I like this feeling because I feel like I did something. No longer was I just, stagnant sitting around in life. So I remember just from the first time I worked out, I was addicted to it. It gave me a reason to listen to awesome, epic Hans Zimmer music and doing something. The biggest obstacle was just, I don't know, just getting in there and finally getting results. Because when you first go in there and maybe you're a little bit out of shape and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, I don't like what I see. Just know you keep doing that same process over and over and over, and eventually you will see what you want to see. So that should be enough motivation right there. Because if you don't keep going and you don't keep it up, well, you're just gonna be the same person you were on the first day. So biggest obstacle is just going, just doing it. Yeah. Hey, it ain't about being the best, it's about doing the best. That's what Stallone would say. So anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap up the Q&A. And once again, here's what I want you guys to do down below in the comments. Ask anything and everything you want. I'll answer them in the next Q&A video. I hope this Q&A was insightful and inspirational and just weird and creepy at times, but I had fun. And like I said, guys, if you guys want to win those free on-demand movie codes, all you got to do is leave a comment down below. Tell me which movie you want to watch on demand. And leave me your email address, and I'll pick 10 of you at random. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.